Hi, and welcome. My name is Catherine, and I'm here to introduce you to the Book of Ideas and to give you some tips to help you get started using it in your classroom. Your class pack contains a class set of the Book of Ideas for all the budding inventors in your classroom, an educator guide and student notebooks to help you integrate innovation and entrepreneurship into what you're already doing, and an online forum that has additional tips and resources to help you along the way. Let's get started with the Book of Ideas itself, and for that, I'll turn things over to Ollie so she can explain.
Hi everyone, I'm Olivia, but you can call me Ollie. I have something pretty cool to share with you today. I bet you like to write or draw just like I do. I also like to dream, and I like to write down or draw the ideas I get from dreaming. This guy right here, Alexander Graham Bell, was the first person to dream up the telephone, which is like an old-fashioned cell phone. And Stephanie Kwolek dreamt up Kevlar, which is now the material in bulletproof vests. Lots of cool things were invented by people who dreamed up cool ideas, like Lonnie Johnson. He invented the Super Soaker squirt gun while working for NASA. Laura Stachel dreamt up a solar suitcase to bring light to third world countries. And Boyan Slat was 17 when he started working on his dream to clean up all the plastic in the ocean. And do you know what? Your dreams and ideas can change the world too. Do you know what an innovator is? How about an entrepreneur? Well, they take their ideas, work hard, and turn them into businesses and products we use. Alexander Graham Bell, Laura Stachel, and Boyan Slat are all entrepreneurs. I know you can do that too. Here's how. The first step is to find a place to put your ideas. You need to put them somewhere where you will remember them and where you can protect them and grow them. A good place is in a book. And so for that, I've given you the Book of Ideas. In it, you can put down an idea straight from your head, or you can start by answering one of the questions on the pages. Since everyone works differently, you can write or draw on the line pages or the blank pages. You can start at the beginning, the middle, or the end of the Book of Ideas. There are no rules. It is your idea. And when you're done, remember to write your name and the date to let everyone know when your idea was born. It's just that simple. So who has a dream or idea they'd like to grow? Excellent! Let's get started. I can't wait to see your dreams come to life.
As you can tell from the video, the Book of Ideas is not about the right answer, perfect spelling, or fitting into a predetermined box. It is about giving students a chance to explore and express their ideas, giving them a chance to work independently and collaboratively, and to practice giving and receiving respectful feedback. And finally, offering them an exciting way to show you their ideas, big wonderings, and give you additional insight on how to engage every learner. There are a number of versions of the Book of Ideas. While each version is designed with a grade level or focused topic in mind, we found that most versions work well with pre-K through grade 5, and even into middle school. Each version of the Book of Ideas begins with a spread of vignettes about kid inventors and entrepreneurs. There's also a glossary of terms specific to invention, intellectual property, and entrepreneurship, and a timeline of things that kids have invented throughout the years. The bulk of the pages in your Book of Ideas are made up of 2-page spreads like this one. There is an innovation prompt at the top, a place for students to draw and write about their inventions, and an entrepreneur quote at the bottom, many of which have been curated specifically for the Book of Ideas. Now I'd like you to pause this video and take some time to look through your version of the Book of Ideas. Perhaps you could even pick one of the prompts and design your own invention. If you did design your own invention, how would you describe it to someone else? How would you explain what made you think of your invention? What ELA, science, art, and collaboration skills could your students practice while designing inventions with the Book of Ideas? Next up is the Educator Guide with versions for K-5 and 6-8. The guides have similar content with slight alterations for the different grade levels. The blue section is the introduction and contains some background information on invention and innovation. It also contains some basic vocabulary terms, a little background on the engineering design process, and a short story about young entrepreneurs who designed and commercialized the first electronic book. To go with the Educator Guide, there is a set of leveled My STEM Stories notebooks. These have the introduction, vocabulary, and entrepreneur story in a student-friendly format. If you're ready to dive into using the Book of Ideas in your classroom, by all means, go right ahead. If, however, you'd like a bit more guidance on getting started, we suggest you consider the following 2 questions. 1. What is the first thing you'd like to accomplish by using the Book of Ideas in your classroom? And 2, what best describes the learning and collaboration style among your students? Based on your answers to these 2 questions, we've developed some suggested first few lessons to get you started. These include a warm-up activity and then a specific learning objective to focus on in the beginning. If you prefer a more a la carte style, the following few pages of the Educator Guide contain suggestions for individual lessons connected with or using the Book of Ideas. You're likely to find that once your students get on a roll, they'll come up with their own ways to connect what they're inventing to other subject areas. For example, Luca combined his invention with a mushroom packaging investigation he was doing in science. And Natalie decided to enlist the help of her neighbor to build a prototype of her pet traveler seat. And students from a number of classrooms have found that public speaking isn't so scary when it means they get a chance to talk about their inventions. Which brings us to the third component of your class pack, the online resources. Registering your class pack with us gives you access to additional online resources, including a digital copy of the Educator Guide and examples from other educators on how they're using the Book of Ideas in their classroom. That brings us to the end of our video, and we hope you have found it useful. If you have any questions, please contact us at the email below. Thanks, and happy inventing!